Hello everyone. This is going to be a little bit of a different video than what I usually make. I've actually not made as many videos as I have on previous YouTube channels that I have had in the past. So I'm going to be trying to make some more videos just for fun, just as a hobby. So first off, what I want to mention is, sorry if my voice is a little bit weird. I am actually starting to get sick, so if I need to re-upload a better version of this video in the future, I will. The second thing I want to mention is this is going to be something about Linux. If you're not familiar with Linux, let me know in the comments. I can certainly post more videos about the Linux operating system. I've been using Linux for about 5 years or so, not quite as long as some people have, but enough to actually know the basics of Linux as an operating system. I have learned everything that I know about Linux from self-research, from teaching myself, researching myself. So I don't know everything, and I would be glad to make more videos if you like this one. Just let me know. So, I am going to explain my personal reasons why I like the Linux operating system, which is the title of the video, Why Use the Linux Operating System. This is not a in-depth video. This is not a complete video on why you should learn Linux. This is just my personal reasons why I use Linux and why you might want to use Linux if you like the same things I do. So, let's get started. The first thing that I want to say is the security and customization options of Linux is a lot better than the luck I have had with Windows. I just bought this computer around probably like 2 or 3 months ago, and it came with Windows, and I used it for a while just to see if I would like it and if it would work for me, and it did work for me. Windows, it's not a bad operating system, it just really depends on your preferences, but I decided I wanted to install Linux, so I did, and I like it. It's great. The only thing I probably would not recommend Linux for would probably be things like the Surface products from Microsoft, so the Surface Pros and the Surface Go. I would keep Windows on those devices because they use specific drivers and they're built to work with Windows. So like pin support, I've heard a lot of things about Wi-Fi drivers not working right with Linux, so I would probably stay away from Linux on the Surface products. But for everything else, desktops and laptops, it's probably fair game. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't try Linux if you really want to on those Surface products. I just would not recommend them because it may end up being more problematic than what you thought, and you want to get the best experience from your device, so that's just my recommendation, but feel free to do what you want with your devices at your own discretion. So getting on to the first reason was security and customization, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit about what I mean, and I'm sure you can do similar things with Windows. I just happen to like Linux better. I like these options better than what I do on Windows. So, you can customize the panel, which the panel is this bar at the bottom where your little open windows are. So, yeah. Anyways, you can auto hide the panel. You can use the customized panel size, so you can actually enable this. So I'm going to enable it, and you can actually enlarge the bottom panel. I usually enlarge it about there. I just like it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it like that. You can also change the size and things like that. I'm not going to do that, but the option is there. You can theme. You can theme pretty much everything in Linux. At least most distributions you can. I'm sure all of them you probably can. You can change how these buttons up here look, what the icons, controls, the mouse pointer, and what your desktop looks like. You can add and remove themes from this section. You can also download them. And they have a section called Settings with a few miscellaneous options, which I just kept at the default, so you can use those however you want. The second reason is how easy it is to install software. So I'm going to go ahead and open a terminal, which if you've ever used Windows, a terminal is basically like command prompt, but for Linux. So I'm going to do a shortcut Control, Alt, and T. That'll bring up my little terminal. And you would install whatever you want by putting sudo apt-get install, and then whatever the name of what you're installing is called. So I have pretty much everything that I already use installed, so I'm not really going to be doing that, but it'll basically install that package. You'll have to put in your password, and you'll have to hit yes to continue installing it. I can do a more in-depth video on this later in the future if you want, but that's basically that. You can customize the terminal. Up here you can, can't remember where it's at, preferences. So you can actually customize all of these, which is really great. And so you can actually, you can just exit, clicking that if you don't want to, do it the normal way with the little X. So something else I want to do is show you this. Go to keyboard, and they have a shortcuts option, so you can make shortcuts for your keyboard. You can customize them, add new ones. It's really great. So say we want to change to close a window. So here it says it's Alt F4, but if you want, you can change that to Control Shift W. So Control Shift W, and see it changes it. I'm used to the Alt F4, so I'm going to keep that the same. But you can change it. There are so many different options here. It's great. Log out is Control Alt Delete. Shutdown is Control Alt End. You can change all of those. So that's another great reason for customization. I have found that the Linux community is very great when it comes to helping you address problems. They help you a lot. You can join Facebook groups for this. You can look on forums, or just look it up in Google, and there'll be tons of information about your problem. Another thing is, as far as security, is that there's basically an update like every day pretty much. So sorry about that. I had to tend to a emergency there real quick. Anyways, I was talking about the update manager. If you see the icon, which is where my mouse is over right now, it's got a little eye on it, and if you click that, it'll show you updates that your system needs, or and it's pretty regular, so I would just keep looking for that icon. If you're up to date, there'll be like the same thing except with a check mark. So another way that you can install software, before I forget, is in the software manager, which can sometimes be called the software center. Basically, it's like the App Store for Linux. Now, it's not going to have everything on here that you would ever want, but it has a lot of things. So yeah, it's great. So if you want me to make videos in the future, let me know, and I'll make them. So just let me know. This is just a short video. Thanks for watching.